Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Blind. In the last episode, we finished up the second day's trial, and so much happened. We discovered that Jake Marshall did in fact impersonate Bruce Goodman in the evidence room in an attempt to get his hands on the SL9 evidence because he wanted to figure out what actually happened to his brother, because he suspects that the prosecutor's office forged evidence in the SL9 incident, which Lana Skye admitted to, which was a whole big mess. We are also now operating under the assumption that Bruce Goodman might have actually been killed in the evidence room after all, and Lana Skye did not murder him in the parking lot. We need to prove that, but we have a pretty good lead. There was somebody who entered the evidence room way earlier than anybody else. It couldn't have been Edgeworth. With the number 777 a number of times. I think it's 7 times. Anyway, they have to be an executive or higher. There's only one person that we know who's an executive or higher that does not have an alibi, so we have to chase that down. So much is going on. Anyway, with all that out of the way, I want to say one more thing. This series has now become the second longest series on the channel, and it will probably become the longest by the time we're done with it at this rate. We just hit over a day of footage. So if you have watched every episode up to this point, you have watched me for over a day play this game, and I want to say thank you so much for the over 100 of you, if we're going by view count, that want to watch silly old me fumble through these cases. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. Thanks so much. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue onward to the Day 3 investigation, presumably the final investigation period of the game. We've never had more than 3 because of how the justice system works in this game, which is still weird, doesn't make any sense, but you know, that's how it be. Anyway, let's go! I've never talked that much in an intro, holy shit. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. Emma, you did not do anything wrong. You are A-okay, you helped out a lot. Stop being a Maya about it. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Oh, that, I mean, that's also not your fault, and I feel worse for Edgeworth than us. Edgeworth really got the shit end of the stick on that. Oh. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Man. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What happened to you, Emma? What do you mean by what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night the prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. Oh god, that's rough. How long ago was this? I forget. What, he tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So how old were you? Like 14? So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. That's so rough. I didn't see that one coming. Man. Okay, please tell us more if you are comfortable with it, Emma. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. So yeah, it was... You were 14 at that time, if you're 16 now. Yeah, that's incredibly bad. Oof. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. Oh my god. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall attacked him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What? What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture. Please tell us about that. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. That's a terrible hairstyle, by the way, Joe. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. That's so awful, Emma. I'm so sorry. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. That's wonderful, Emma. And find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. That's so incredibly brave of you. I'm proud of you, Emma. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall, so you weren't able to testify about that. No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Do not blame yourself. You were fucking 14 and you were about to be murdered. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. I mean, it makes sense if he's actually a serial killer, but also, you know, it has consequences. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. I'm also sure. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. It is not your fault, please, Emma. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? That is something weird about this, right? If he actually is a serial killer, why was he in the public prosecutor's office? The head public prosecutor. Well, she wasn't the head at the time, was she? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course, this happened at the police department. Oh, so he was trying to escape. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why didn't he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective office isn't the questioning room or right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. Actually, I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that. Okay. Because wasn't Gant the chief prosecutor at that time? I think we said before, maybe? But detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Very weird. Very weird. These promotions and the people that they keep around. Very cherry-picked, very odd, very manipulatable. I don't like it. Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her. Yes, we definitely need to find out more information. Lana, you'd better be available, girl. Hello. Finally, we can talk to you again outside of a fucking courtroom waiting area. Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? Because... It's complicated. But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. So, I hope for the entire police department's sake that Joe Dark really was a serial killer, man. Because if he got the death penalty and he was not a real serial killer, good God. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? Going from detective to chief prosecutor is kind of a big shift. Ridiculous, incomprehensible promotion. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. I do. I'm your fucking attorney. Okay. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I suspected as much. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Man. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Ms. Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. So yeah, I mentioned last time, this picture has only been shown in, like, theory. This has not been, like, an actually produced image by anybody. All we have of this happening was this, which does not necessarily look like a murder to me. I can't explain the coat with the bloodstain on it being here so long after Jake Marshall's deal, but unless she took his coat, I don't remember. I don't know. No, he's still wearing his coat, obviously. So, who knows what happened here? Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. We're really getting to the meat and potatoes of the matter here. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant. He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked on the crime scenes. Okay, he was the deputy chief of police and not the chief of police. Okay. Did he get promoted to chief of police after the SL9 incident? Because, man, if that's what happened, I'm weird. Please, oh, hold up. Long stretch. This is way just speculation. Tell me this guy was not the chief of police. Please. Because if he is, then I'm floored. If that's actually what happened. There's so many possibilities and paths this could go running through my head at this point. It's incredible. No matter what, I'm 100% positive that Gant is not a good person. Damon Gant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police. Oh my god, and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. This mad conspiracy. Tell me Joe Dark wasn't the fucking chief, please. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Oh god. Ugh, this is messy. Okay. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho, I'm sure. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Okay. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. I can't believe he escaped from those two specifically. From there he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Oh my god. Is it stuck through both of them? When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma who had passed out, and the suspect Joe Dark. What happened? During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her straight out of the room, and just held her. I can't blame her, after all her sister must have gone through. So is this when you changed? Emma said that you changed pretty drastically. Is this the moment that you did? When you sold your soul? After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. Exactly, that's what I've been saying all along. It's been getting weirder and weirder and weirder. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely, I'm sure. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? So, are we still able to solve SL9 and, like, put it in the ground? Or did the transferal happen and now it's statute of limitations time? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Probably a good plan. Okay, thank you, Lana. Appreciate it. Ooh, the drama is getting thick. It is palpable in the air. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. You're right. The chief of detectives, it seems the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. Okay. So, let's go pay a visit to Gant. Oh, hi! Were you not arrested? I figured that you would be. But if you got off the hook, then I suppose, you know, it's time for you to turn over a new leaf, partner. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Old Billy? Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Alright. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. That's pretty weird, yeah. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. Huh. So is this exact knife? If this knife is the planted evidence, then that would explain why it was wrapped in, or I don't know who did it exactly, but that would explain why it would be wrapped up in Lana's muffler and tried to be hidden away, right? However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Yeah, that's so weird. You were demoted. Angel Star was fired. Lana was promoted to chief prosecutor, and Gant was promoted to chief of police. Really fucking weird. Miss Star was fired, and yeah, I just said that. And I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him, too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. So who was the chief of police before? Did he just step down? What was the situation with Gant being promoted? Did he just retire, or was it Joe Dark? I think I need to know that piece of information. The investigation led Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Okay. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. I remember that. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor, is it? Because it seems like a running thing where the person who gets that is kind of in trouble. You know? Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. I mean, actually, I guess Von Karma won the award a lot, so I guess, never mind. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right, it was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? I did, Marshall. You're not the most straight and narrow man I've ever met, but I respect you. I hope that you can continue your life without any regrets if you ever get out of prison. It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. I'm glad you at least think so. He was the one who got used. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gann. I'm glad somebody has a solid head on their shoulders. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. Aw. When you become a real scientific and that's adios, Bambina. I like Jake a lot. He's not perfect, but that made me tear up a little bit. Okay. All right. Well, let's go pay a visit to the Mastermind. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Sure do. It's been so long since we've worried about this car. But I feel like we are definitely going to have to very soon. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. I assume not. He's probably at home trying to figure shit out. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. That too. He took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later. Oh my god. Okay. That was an oh my god as in I'm stressed, not as in oh my god, there's nothing here. Okay. Well then how do we pay a visit to Mr. Gant? This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Okay. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, that was a terrible reading of that sentence. Not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. That's a lot of chaos. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around the Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Oh, thanks, guy. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Emma. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Okay, let's do just that, baby. All right. Holy shit. Regal. Oh, there's that picture. Why? Okay. I'd like to get a closer look at that. Oh, the vase is in the back. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. I've noticed several things in that picture that are really weird. There's a fucking organ. This is a pompous office. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. That's cool. I thought I was a Oop. I never could remember where C was. Oh, here he is. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Please let me see it closer. Yeah, there's a fucking sword in it that looks a lot like a certain broken switchblade, might I say. Like, the chipping of it is literally exactly what's going on, and it's not even here anymore. What's happening? Hey, this is fishy. This is weird. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. Several things. Well, the thing that's not right with this picture is the King of Prosecutors trophy, but in the back, the vase is still there. So we need to figure out what happened with that exactly. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Okay. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. You would like us to go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. I'm sure you'd like that, Mr. Man. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. No, I heard you perfectly well. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Scumbag. Scumbag. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Okay. I mean, let's just try the most direct path. Gumshoe! Hey, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Aw, poor dude. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Okay. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Oh. Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this... Are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. I love Gumshoe so much. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seemed genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? I think I have it figured out already. I'm pretty sure I have it pretty well solidified in my head. But I don't have every bit of the details working out. Also, there's a very pointy spear in this room as well. Very close to the pot that was broken. There's several things that are strange about this. I don't know how it all pieces together, but we're close. His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Thank you for the tip with how many pieces of evidence we have in this case. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? Okay, so thank God he wasn't the chief of police. If that was the case, I would have been fucking floored. I would have been like, this is the worst thing ever. One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident. An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed the man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed... Oh my god. And then he was burying the bodies. A jogger came up to the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. He turned himself in? Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. How is there no evidence to 4 people being murdered in such a quick... What? Weird. Weird. Sus. Weird. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness. AKA Emma. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna be real sad if they convicted an innocent man over serial killings. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case has been closed, the knife's been locked away in a locker. Have you not been paying attention to this current case? On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Please. Nope. Wrong. Wrong. Hurry up. Oh my god, this is gonna take so long. Never click on the wrong thing. Never be in too much of a hurry. Don't get too excited. Okay. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at this knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. Okay. 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 It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? Does it? It doesn't. Does it? It looks... It's not quite as much of like a check mark. It's a little off. You're bad, down to the last fiber. Huh. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Okay. The broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to the murderer, Joe Dark. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. I love how we're still on this. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. Yes! Gumshoe? Well, we have Bruce's... What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with a breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'll be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. Understandable. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Do we still have that guest one? Does that guest one that let us into the evidence room work? Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Is there? What would make him change his mind? Well, first, let's go ahead and read the autopsy report. Name of the deceased, Neil Marshall, 27 male. Date and time of death, February 19th, between 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Cause of death, a single stab wound piercing heart and lung. Assessment, died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon was found. Weapon and wound was missing tip. Okay. Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. Okay, well... Alright, I guess we're just gonna... We're gonna try to present everything until we get a path forward, I suppose. I can't think of... Oh, wait a minute. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m. This might let us in there. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Detective. An executive officer. I just might have a hunch. Yep. Come on, man, Gumshoe. Come on. What about this weird screwdriver? No, you don't know anything about that? Okay. What's up with this? With AI-16? What's that got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edgeworth said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Wouldn't that be nice? So let's hope so. That sounds wonderful if that's the truth. Why is this a screwdriver of some completely different case? I'm so confused by that. Why was it brought back to his Edgeworths office by Gant's request? Oh, a lost item report, huh? Very impressive, Detective. You knew what it was right off the bat. Well, I am a master of misplacement, you know. Okay. Master? That has such a cool ring to it. The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here. Wow, a higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold on any evidence. Okay, probably not. Okay. About that jar, I think I've seen it somewhere before. Somewhere. Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Yeah, I mean, this is from his office. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? Okay. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere further. I've been studying up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. To think people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, ain't buying it, pal. You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know. After all, a serial killer was on the loose. But Lana was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Dark guilty. Okay, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any further with Gumshoe now, so where on earth do we need to go? Is there anything more at the crime scene here? Is there anything we missed? Ooh, okay, there's something new in Edgeworths' office. Alright. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something.
What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. What are you doing, buddy? Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings.
So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Hey.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict.
Did you do it intentionally?
That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do erase that. Nothing I do can erase that fact.
But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Look, man. You might need to take a vacation, and not to heal from a bullet wound. You might need to take a vacation to figure yourself out. Are you up for the trial tomorrow?
First last year's trial and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove that the suspect was guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Yeah. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seems strange about it. Yeah, we need to find out about the trophy. What changed about it? Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this.
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up in the office in the morning, then drove to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
The screwdriver, right? Take something back.
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago.
Please don't thrust another case on me, I'm already overwhelmed.
He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right.
Weird. Okay, first, what is this? I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window out there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground.
Hold on. First, let me see what that girl's doing crawling around at my feet.
He didn't even look. What? Letter of resignation?
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of... Oh, Edgeworth. Letter of resignation.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean...
I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked, you don't need to tell it to me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh, I think he's serious. Edgeworth is the best character in the game, by the way. I want to point that out, flat out. Say that for the record. He's just the best character in the game. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Okay. Can we take a closer look at it? We can't read it directly. Due to recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor. He really wrote a resignation letter. Wow, even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault. Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world. Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if he just quits. Well, not everyone sees it that way. To truly take responsibility, you should have to work the rest of your life for no pay. No. That's one tough grown-up world there. Yeah, that terrible world. Okay. Alright. We have to present something to him, the picture, right? This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. I'm really weirded out by the missing... They couldn't just, like, make a switchblade out of a trophy.
Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now.
Remember what?
That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago.
Wow, that's not weird at all. 2 years ago, some shit was happening.
There's a story behind its design.
A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on.
Okay.
This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield.
Have you heard this story? This is fascinating and really cool. Please tell me more. Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake.
Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Okay. Wait a minute. Objection. Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive, but then again, you've heard this story before, right?
Anyways, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. I love how the music's playing.
When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. An ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. Of course I will. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the trophy of the award abolished.
Why? Chief Gant. I have a connection, but I don't have it all pieced together. So if... Oh, God. If the tip of the knife matches the tip in the chest, then why is there a similarly broken piece missing from this trophy? He said... Jake Marshall said that the wounds didn't match up. So... But it couldn't have been this broken off inside of him. because this isn't broken. Well, it is broken, but it didn't break inside of... I don't know what's happening. Oh, we're so close, yet we're so far. Okay. Well, I think we have the piece that we need in order to get Gumshoe to talk. Save Edgeworth. Excuse me, who's this? Hi, Angel. Would either of you care for a 1/4 pound of roast beef? Miss Starr, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to the... I've thought about this? Okay, this is a total side. I've thought about this, and it's fucking weird. No matter how you look at it. Like, so, what were they trying to do to the cow? Even if you come about this and be like, hey, they saw the baby cows drinking from the nipple of the cow. Why don't I try that? That's still really weird if you don't know about milk. Like, it's so weird. I've talked about this with several people. I know that's strange, but I've had this conversation and it really fired me up. Thank you, Angel. Appreciate it. Still, never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be all attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? Yeah, we need to explain that away too. God, in the last trial, we're gonna have to spend like half of it solving this and half of it solving SL9. Which is even more intense than the turnabout goodbyes thing. They really did a good job stepping it up. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Okay. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think he was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. Tell us more about that. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. Oh, yeah, I bet. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Yeah, I bet. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? That's why you tried to convict her? Look, both you and Jake are very mixed characters, but you are way less reasonable than Jake. I don't know what it is, but I really don't like you. I'm sorry, Angel. I understand you, but I don't like you as a character. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have proof anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then, Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. I wholeheartedly agree, actually. She was being used? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? Oh, okay. If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. Is it blackmail? At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Thank you. Those are kind words, ma'am. Okay. Gumshoe. Man. Let us in. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. What? You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, okay. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. Real quick, I want to just take out... I think it's cool that they had Lana jot that down, desk jockey DJ. Wow, like, she clearly, like, wrote it down real quick. They've animated that just like that. That's cool. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. I beg to differ. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. I have it right here. Oh my god, we almost have 4 pages. Hey. You need to let me in there, otherwise Edgeworth's gonna resign. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence, but we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Yes, sir, Gumshoe. Alright, detective, thank you. I love him so much. This case made Gumshoe and Edgeworth even better characters, and I didn't think it was possible. I fucking love them. I love them so much. Okay. Let us in, baby! Here goes, Mr. Wright. Alright. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Hi, Gumshoe, you came along? Eek! Gah! Again. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
Ah, Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too.
If you're here, then what's the point in you giving us your ID card? Crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
Hey, don't do that to my card. Why did we do that? But I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now, true?
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Okay, well, I like the way this is progressing. Anyway, hey guys, Editor Wiggly here. So, I originally did the outro right here, and this is where the episode was going to end, and I was going to split the investigation up into 2 parts, but the next part where I finish up the investigation ended up being kind of short, so you're going to get another outro and intro here in just a minute because I decided to combine them both into one episode. So, anyway, enjoy. Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Blind. In the last episode, we started our 3rd day of investigation, finding out more information about the SL9 incident, and every time we take a step forward in that case, Chief Gant is looking more and more suspicious, even with multiple in-game characters calling him out as being weird. And in this episode, we're finally going to be examining his office, where I hope our trump card will be lying. Gumshoe, what do you got? That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now?
No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now.
Then why did he leave the other desk?
He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene.
That's weird. That's a strange reason to leave it there.
He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
Okay. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk?
No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Well, there's got to be something in here. There was that paper that you mentioned that he hid immediately as soon as we came in.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it?
Why do you ask?
You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more.
Hey, hold on! Not so fast, buddy!
Huh? What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal!
I love how you wear your heart on your sleeve, Gumshoe. You're great.
You don't just let it go at that.
Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Nah, he's the best, Phoenix. Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
I absolutely 100% am sure Chief Gant is a suspect. What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet.
There you go, ignoring me again.
Sorry, buddy. Alright. Well, let's start looking around, shall we? Well, there's a safe. That's a good place to look. This is a real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons?
Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations.
First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this?
That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes, Emma. Bold. You don't have any taxes to pay, true?
Shh, be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak.
I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Okay. I hadn't considered that somebody could have been in the armor that day. I don't know. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here...
At first, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window.
Really? Why didn't he?
They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view.
Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Possibility. I thought more about this armor just now. It's possible that somebody could have killed both Joe Dark and Neil Marshall, and then when Lana came into the room, they stepped back and pretended to be a statue? Maybe? Maybe? The lights went out. Emma might not have seen it. It's possible. I don't know who would have done it, or who's small enough to fit in this armor. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier...
Oh, it's you two!
Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading.
This looks like a list of evidence.
A list of evidence.
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here.
Yeah, I wonder. Hold on, detective. What did you just say?
I said, I wonder what...
No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. We heard that earlier, too.
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence.
The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
What would the other half of the list be doing here? Oh, it's the other half. We need to read that list. I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Let's read it. It was ripped in half, so this part is all I've got. Okay. What is this half? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that the drawing? Emma? I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I better keep quiet about it for now. What? Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I better not forget about this picture. Okay, well... that must be the thing Emma drew. Also, I would like to see the evidence, please. Guess not. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. We found this inside the drawer. A list of evidence from the SL9 incident. Mr. Edgeworth had the other half of that list. What would the list be doing here? We better look a little more into this list, okay? We can go back and present it to Edgeworth, and he can help us piece this all together. This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue.
Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. A 7-digit number. I think I might... Don't tell me. Is it a 7-digit number full of sevens?
Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday? It's...
Okay. I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Oh god. You've got to be fucking kidding me. There's no way. Really, Gant? Come on, dude. Bingo. What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal?
7777777. Well, hey. Bam. Well, look at that. Final ID card number on this record. I haven't been more sure of who did it in a long time. In cases 3 and 4, I had potential doubts. This, I'm fucking rock solid. Gant did it, no doubt. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean 7777777? That ID number?
I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Let's do so. Happily.
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Why are you so after his money, man? Look, it's Oh! Also, that blood looks weird. A shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here, too. What is that? What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Well, let's check it for fingerprints, guys. Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Thanks for helping, Gumshoe. Is that it? Is that all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. I can absolutely prove the cup does. Or the jar. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. Okay. Before that, let's examine the rest of the room. The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally, we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is on the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls them to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours. Damn. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally. Okay. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. Swimming much lately? Okay. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. No. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. What? Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Oh no, Phoenix, don't say that. Oh my god. These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Aw. This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends were made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? That's the question of the day, isn't it? Okay, and last but not least, we have the old picture. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here, then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. That's so sad. Gee, you think? Okay. Well. Gumshoe. Hey. Proof. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. You got it? Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Let's do it. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Okay. Wow, so hard. That's a really weird shape of blood. There, it fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of evidence. He hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this! What is it?
This piece you just attached, it's different from the others.
What? There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? That's a great question. Is it some character I don't know? Like a Japanese character or something? Or a Chinese one, maybe? Because of the Chinese legend? I don't know. But whatever it is, that doesn't look like a natural blood splatter. Is weird. Evidence from the SL9 incident. Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. Blood traces. Okay. Can we take a closer look at it? Why do you turn it this way? Yeah, I don't... My brain's not coming up with anything here. Hey, look here. It's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece the Chief has is different, though. The blood stains on the other pieces are just spots. But this one's a line. That is odd. Yeah, I don't... Oh, man. I'm at a loss on that one. I don't have any idea what that means. Unfortunate. Okay. Now, let us fingerprint the cloth. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprint. That's not how this works. Oh, God. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? All right. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told 1,000,000 times. All right, let's get this over with. Okay, baby. Let's get her done. Well, hold on, wait. What's the best finger to do? The middle finger looks like a pretty clear imprint. Alright, baby. My editing software sure didn't like all these particles. And here we are again. But that's just how it's gonna have to be, I guess. Nice, first try. Not Damon Gant. What? Emma? I like how Emma and Lana's are so similar. But Emma... What was this cloth? No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match! Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you. Over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the Chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Yeah, probably for the best. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Evidence for something, but what? Bears Emma Sky's prints. Why? What is this? Huh. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, we would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the code?
I knew it was you.
Eek! Chief Gant!
We didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pool. Just then I thought of a certain detective.
Do you mean me, sir?
Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the coat.
Me, sir?
Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
But, sir...
Now get out!
Yes, sir! We'll be on our way too, then.
Wait, you the one without the spiky hair.
Don't go yet. Me, sir?
I'd like a word with you.
But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair, you're free to go.
Mr. Wright? Oh, God. Gant is scary. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? Yes, but we definitely got what we needed, though. I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew, it'd be like this. I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Yeah, Lana needs to explain some things. Anyway, you're listening to me. I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. You're not gonna do it. He's gonna be in fucking prison tomorrow. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Oh no. Are you gonna frame her? Lana. I see, so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I've finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Please do. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. Are you blackmailed? What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? It is Damon Gant.
Take that!
Well, Miss Skye?
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. Ugh. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? Yes. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was... me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant's falsified evidence in that case. This? I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman, or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. What were these orders? Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. What the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. What is possibly worth this, Lana?
You'll find it inside of the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Okay. She did not kill him. She found the body where she was told it was. God, Gant sucks. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. Okay. Why? The knife from the SL9 incident, serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. Ah, that would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Ah, okay. Okay. Okay, that adds up. Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. You really fucked up, Lana. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened, to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. Okay, got it. You asked Emma. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence, yes. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling. The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust, or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. So you were the one who put the evidence, like the glove, in the sensor of the locker? Oh, you mean not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. This is such a good case. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. Lana. What is the center of this whole thing? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and as an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Fuck that! You kidding? Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murder. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Whew, okay. Bit of a short episode today, I apologize. I thought that investigation period was going to be longer, but I feel like I have everything in place. I feel like I know roughly what happened. I'm ready. I feel ready for this trial. I'm so excited for the final trial of the game. This is such a good case, dude. I love all the characters, all the moving parts. It's so cool having like a larger cast so integrally woven into this, and it's really impressive how they managed to make this case feel so important and not fillery, right? Like it really does fit right in with everything that we've done up to this point, even though it feels a lot larger. I'm loving this case. It's excellent. All right. Well, with that, thank you all for watching today's episode of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Blind. I've been Guildmaster Wiggly. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like. If you are new, consider subscribing. If you want to follow my Twitch, Twitter, or join my Discord, they're in the description. And I hope to see you all in the next one when we take on Final Day Trial Former.